So the gospel today is Luke 12, 13 through 21. All right.
Love to. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Lord.
Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbitrator?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I shall store all my grain and other goods. And I shall say to myself, now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus will it be for all who store up treasure for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Store up treasures in heaven.
Yep. So, in context here, we have Jesus. It was in a huge crowd, and it was so crowded people couldn't pass, and he was teaching on things of God. And this man comes up and he says, "Teacher, bid my brother divide the inheritance with me." And so in this translation it says friend, but most translations say, "Man, who made me a judge or divider over you?" And if you look at what this guy did, he said, "Teacher, tell my brother." He didn't ask. He commanded him. He said, basically, "Rabbi, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He's only concerned about himself, right? He's only concerned about, there's no context. His brother must have obviously been there because he's addressing him in that manner. And Jesus' response, I don't really like friend, because the word that's typically used here is more of a generic, kind of an offstandish, like man, like Mr. or you. It wouldn't be something that was endearing. Who appointed me as your judge and arbitrator? Now this is kind of typical, because the rabbis of that time period, they would have the authority to, kind of make decisions on, like, dividing things, because they would have all been schooled in, like, the Old Testament and how things were divided in that manner. But Jesus was teaching for the previous 11 chapters here on the things of God and the things of heaven, and this whole conversation that they were going through. And this guy, out of the blue, just says, "Hey, have my brother give me what I got coming to me." And Jesus, knew exactly where it came from. He said, "Take care to guard against all greed. For though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." And so when he tells this parable, that's where we got to go back to. He's telling this parable because he's addressing what this guy just asked him. There was a rich man whose land had produced a bountiful harvest. And in this version it says, he thought to himself, "What shall I do?" He asked his soul, "What shall I do?" So he asked his soul, which I like, because he's not asking his soul. He's asking his physical self. That's all he's concerned about. If he was asking his spiritual self, then he would be asking, he'd be asking, what should I do in my spirit? What's the best thing? Is he first thinking of God and his neighbor? No, he's not. He's thinking only of his physical self.
No charity.
There's no charity, exactly. There's no charity here. And it kind of makes sense. So Jesus calls him a fool, but look what he's doing. It's actually pretty smart. He had this great harvest, and he could sell it, but if he sold it, and flooded the market, the prices would go down. But he was smart. He's going to store it out and basically put a big silo with the spigot on the bottom. And when prices go up, he could kind of control the prices.
Yep.
So he was being smart. If you think about it, that's really, and this particular, so right now, as we're speaking, we just tore down our building and we're putting up a bigger one. And I'm like, Lord, you got the greatest sense of humor. We got this, we tore down our building because we need more area, and we put up a bigger one. I mean, in the exact same location. And that's what he did. He tore it down because he could have put up another building, but that would have taken away from his planting area. So in the exact same spot, he put the bigger building, as opposed to like putting up an extra here and there, you know, kind of having a sprawling development. He could have made it taller where it held more and everything else. But I kind of was laughing because I'm like, this is the way the Lord kind of speaks to you, like, watch out so you're not thinking of these things, because we took down our 30 by 100 building and we placed it on different parts of our property, and now we're putting up a 40 by 100 taller Quonset hut building that we're going to insulate and putting it in the same location. So I mean, it was kind of almost like a perfect analogy, but look what he wanted to do. He said, then I shall store, I shall tear down, I shall say to myself, now as for you, it's all me, I. 17 times he says that in just this little, you know, area. 17 times he's talking about himself. What am I going to do? It's all about him. And he will say to himself, now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for so many years. So that kind of tells me he was probably younger. I mean, he kind of thought, well, I got a lot of years. I'm young, healthy, whatever. Rest, eat, drink, and be merry. I'm going to have a party. And I'm going to let loose what I need all the way. I'm set for life. And I really don't need to do anything. But God said, you fool, this night your life will be demanded of you. And all the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? And this goes back to the first reading, right? He worked, he prepared, and he was smart. He built up. There's nothing wrong with making an honest living and accumulating things, right? We have to have our priorities straight, though. I mean, he's not doing it dishonestly, but he's lacking charity. He didn't put God or his fellow man. You know, it doesn't talk about, he's not talking about helping anyone else. It's just all about him. So all these things that he's stockpiled and built up, who are they going to belong to? Thus will it be for all who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God. So this is what God thinks. You know, he thinks he's a fool because he's amassing riches as opposed to amassing things for God. The problem is not with the wealth, but with the selfishness. I mean, I think that's what we have to, so it goes back to loving himself to contempt of God. And so when you read something like this, you think back, okay, so this man was concerned, and Jesus said, you know, we should be thinking about, we put too much emphasis, I know, in our own time, especially, probably on, you know, riches and concerns of this world. I mean, it would kind of be like, you know, give me all the money, I want it now. You know, Dad's died, give me all the money. I don't care about family, I don't care about anything else. Screw everything else, I want what I got coming to me. It's kind of like the prodigal son when he left. He said, you know, I don't care. Give me what I got now. I don't care. And I mean, I think we see that a lot, and then we have to make sure we guard our own hearts against acting in that manner. Because this, you know, this is not somebody that is probably in heaven, right? I mean, it's really somebody that's probably in hell. Yeah, and so that's the definition of sin by St. Augustine, love of self to contempt of God. That's what he said. That's the definition of sin. And so when you think about coveting things and wanting things, and we're not being content, because St. Paul, his method of happiness was, I'm content no matter where I'm at. Whether I'm not eating or I'm feasting, I'm content. And so I think, and my own personal experience with work, if I'm shoveling crap, or if I'm, taking care of things, you have to be content with whatever you're doing. If a job's bad, you got to be content. I mean, that's just the way it is. You just have to find, that's just the way you are at that time. It will eventually end. Your situation may not be perfect, but it will eventually pass. And I think and in Christ you can do that. But if all you are is about the world and money and time now, there's no contentment. And St. Paul, though, that's how he found contentment. I'm content in all things. And so I think that's the way once we're not happy, we got to have this, we got to have that. Oh, I'd like to have that car, I'd like to have that house, or I'd like to have that boat, or I'd like to have that woman, or I'd like to have that whatever it is, man, or whatever, So people have to, they're not content with what they have. God's given you many things, and we're not content. And actually, having the internet and having all these sources, we realize what we don't have. When I was growing up, our parents were pretty poor. My dad, he did, he had his master's. He was teaching as a principal at a Catholic school, so he made nothing. We didn't know we were poor. Really, no one. We just were happy. We played ball. We did whatever. We never really realized it, and that's good. But now with the internet and everything else, it's, we had uniforms, which was good because everybody had the same, at least somehow or another. I think we got hand-me-downs or people would give them out or whatever. We'd have uniforms. And so we all looked the same, so there wasn't that whole, they're wearing, I don't even know what these Michael Jordan sneakers or something. That's old.
Designer stuff, yeah.
Yeah, designer stuff. But
That's what I love about uniforms.
yeah, everything's consistent and it takes it more on education. That's my own opinion on it.
Yeah. That's the truth.
But I think
Harming people trying to better themselves.
no, not at all.
If you're
you
not
know,
posting about it and
Right,
being
the
like,
guys work hard, he's shoveling crap and.
No, I'm just saying be content. Whatever you want to always do, but whatever you're in, and you're always bettering yourself.
Yeah,
But you need to be if you're in a situation in life. Let's say you're starting out on a job, be content. That means be the
You should
best
have a
you
job.
can. Be the best. You have a job. You got it right. You have a job. So many people don't have a job. So many people have nothing. So many people don't have food. So many people don't have water. We're like, well, let's turn the air down a little bit, which is great. I love it. But there's so many people that don't have air conditioning. I talked to a guy in India and it was 126 and he said, I'm just being mauled by bugs right now. They're just swarming. And kind of like the horse flies around South Lyon. But we'll end with that.